On the 18th of December, Belfast-born Kevin Downey returned to his hometown for Christmas. However, this was no ordinary return of the diaspora for the holidays, as this emigrant had just spent the previous 2.5 years cycling over 30,000 miles with only his trusty guitar for companionship. Kevin Downey joins us on the line now to explain just what precipitated this mammoth bicycle ride. Good morning, Kevin.
Good morning. How's it going?
Good. Kevin, why cycle around the world and why only on bicycles? No boats, no flying?
No, there was boats, obviously.
Oh, boats, sorry, yeah, no flying.
But no flying. I suppose, why not? I'm fit and able enough to do it, so others aren't so lucky, and I just mustered together enough reasons to make it worth my while also. Okay,
now, of course, you did this as well to raise money for a charity. The charity is called DePaul, and it works, I understand, with the homeless.
Yeah, it works with the homeless, both north and south of the border. And, well, that appealed to me as much as a lot of other reasons. The fact that, well, I knew they could do with the money, and after visiting one of the hostels in Dublin when I was there, arranging visas and stuff, yeah, I just seen that whereas, well, with other charities you don't see as much where the money is going. And for example, next week I'll be visiting one of their wet hostels here in Belfast, and obviously I'll be able to show people that has been following and who have donated just where exactly their money has went to.
And of course that has become a very big issue in this country with the various scandals we've had throughout the year. We of course then unfortunately just before Christmas there, with the tragic death of Jonathan Corrie on the streets of Dublin, again brought homelessness to the fore. And I suppose the only upside of that was we were promised by our government that they would do something to address the situation.
Well, yeah, and even just I just read recently, because obviously DePaul operates in Europe also, but even there's like a crackdown in London, where in an attempt to clean up the streets, or in a way to get homeless off them, they're essentially just taking all their belongings, which is obviously the complete wrong way to go about it. So homeless people are not only homeless, but also don't own anything, and they're just as, although they mightn't have a home, they're very precious about the little that they do have. So to wake up and have nothing, completely nothing, is obviously on another level.
And I know, and certainly I know you've lived in London. I have lived in London as well, and as an Irish immigrant there is very much a sense of, when you see homeless people, they're before the grace of God.
Yeah, well, especially at this time of year, especially in the past few days, with the temperatures dropping below zero, and depending on what part of London you live in, you can see it every day or never see it at all. So I was living in southeast London, and homelessness and alcoholism is rife, so.
Okay, so you undertook this mammoth cycle. Where did it take you to, Kevin?
Well, it started by just cycling through Europe and then leaving Europe for Turkey and then Iran. And because I didn't have a visa for Pakistan, I looked to take a boat to India, but easier said than done. So I was offered a boat to take me to the Philippines. With that not being in the plan, and being a very out of the way country, I decided to go there, and then from there back to Singapore on bicycle up to Beijing, which was complete by bicycle, which is roughly about 4,000 miles, and then from there a boat to Korea, Japan, and then that eventually stopped in Alaska. And from Alaska, the length of South America, North and South America essentially on bicycle, and then before returning north and taking a boat from Peru through the Panama Canal, which left me back at Dover. That took the best part of 3 weeks, and then back through London up to Liverpool, and then Liverpool on a good old standard line back to Belfast, and then up a Falls Road and back to my house.
Home for Christmas, my goodness. Were you very fit before this? Were you a keen cyclist?
I'd say I preferred running more than anything, because for me now, if I want to get a good workout on a bike, then I'm going to have to be on it for the best part of the day, and I don't have a day to kill normally. So, but if I generally like running, and I ran the past 3 Belfast marathons, so but the bicycle was just more as a means for transport. It's like with anything. After 1 or 2 days, once your resistance and your capability constantly gets better. So obviously, I'm in far better shape in terms of cycling when considering me 2 years ago and looking at me now.
I'm sure. Now, the guitar, what kind of shape is the guitar in following that mammoth world tour?
Well, I went through 3 for various reasons. One being taken whilst I was sleeping on a beach in Dubai for 2 weeks, and the next one, because it was monsoon season in Asia, the guitar ended up looking like a boomerang. And then when I finally got my last one in Canada, which was a mixture of a ukulele and a guitar, and it's made by Yamaha, and they've called it a guiltilele. So it's pretty much a 6-string ukulele, which can be tuned to obviously a 6-string guitar. And it's about, I'd probably say, if you were to look at it, you would think that it's for a 5-year-old, but it creates a good sound and stuff. And obviously, if I was to play any shows anywhere, the same way I do here, I just ask around, whoever might be playing before me, or if I know someone in town, then I can quite handily get a full-size guitar for gigs and whatnot.
And did you gig along the way then?
Yeah, I gig quite a bit. Nothing overly fancy, nothing much more than singer-songwriter nights. But for example, one night in Guadalajara in Mexico, I made some good friends. One that was running his own bicycle clothing company, and he was able to get me this absolutely beautiful venue. Pretty much looked like a typical colonial street, but indoors, and had the huge projector on at the back, and got quite a good crowd. And when I wasn't singing, there was obviously videos of me cycling in Asia, for example, or in Alaska. And it was a really good night, and that's definitely will always go down as one of the highlights of the trip, if not my life. So
I suppose, were there any lows of the trip? Was there anywhere where you weren't welcomed or received well?
I wouldn't. I'd say in general, 99 out of 100 people are going to greet you with open arms, and you'll never. I wouldn't say I ever felt that my life was in danger. Of course, you can feel threatened that someone might take your stuff, but I never thought they would take your life. And in terms of loneliness or just overall low points, was probably Patagonia in Argentina, where the wind is just, until you've experienced it, then you probably don't know unless you've been in a typhoon sort of idea, just how bad a wind can be and just how impossible it is to cycle. And for example, we get weather warnings here when the wind is above 50 miles per hour, and obviously trying to cycle in 100 miles per hour winds is, you might as well just go home. So
yeah, I'm sure. But I would imagine you met a lot of great people along the way who you will stay in touch with.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. It's just funny that if I know anyone that's going to any country I've been to, I could probably put them in contact with someone, which is, the world's become a much smaller place since going out and trying to cycle it.
Now, in addition to, and you did raise a considerable amount of money for DePaul, but in addition to that, what would you say this trip has given you personally?
I suppose for me it's just a case of, I don't know, I suppose that I wouldn't say I don't fear anything, but I know how easy it is to get by on very little, so I wouldn't overly stress myself out on on certain things I need. Like, I know my mum and dad would always like to see me extremely comfortable on what they think is comfortable in their eyes, but I'm more than happy with very little, just as long as I can spend time with my family or just have a bit of crack with my mates, essentially. And I've been having a bit of crack the whole way around on virtually nothing. So.
And you have a lot more mates as well to have it with. So what is the future for Kevin Downey, his guitar and his bicycle?
Well, I'm going to be in Belfast for the next 4 months or so, and hopefully, I'll do anything to make a bit of money back, and obviously pay back a few people that owe a little bit too. And there's plans. I plan to cycle to Australia from here, essentially, in mid-April, start of May, with a friend of mine that I met on actually the second day of travelling when I was in Belgium, and we were making plans to end up in Australia by September. Then I'll be back from my sister's wedding.
Right. Well, I know you have a new EP out. It's called Cross the Border, and you're actually promoting it on your world cycle there. We're going to listen in a minute to one of the tracks on that, We're All the Same. But in the meantime, Kevin Downey, thank you so much for sharing your experience with us this morning. And do stay in touch. If you're heading off to Australia, we'd love to know about it.
No, you'll be one of the first people to tell.
Okay, thank you, Kevin, and a very happy new year to you.
All right, same to you.
Life, it's a bowling ball, it's got holes, but it still rolls on and still there we get knocked down to get back up again. Yes, we're all the same. Yes, we're all it's time, well it takes its toll when we get grand old, just to find that you're 55 without grandchild now. Yes, we're all the same. Yes, we're all the same. Yes, we're all the same. Yes, we're all no, I can't make it on my own. Just another one waiting for that next ball to come and sweep me off my feet. I'm begging, Lord, not me, not me. I don't want them to see that we're